guys, it's Yaz and welcome back to my channel. So if you can tell by the title, this video is going to be about the top 10 nursing school must-haves in my opinion. I've seen a couple of these videos out there and overall I do agree with certain things that they say, but just from what I've experienced thus far in my program, certain things I felt like I didn't need at certain points that I think I need now, or things that I needed back then that I don't really need now. All in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys find it helpful, give me a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so you can join our family. And I'll get right into the video. So when I was getting together the things that I felt like were the must-haves, or like the nursing school essentials, initially I thought about separating it into two separate videos, one with lecture and like just school itself, and then one with clinical. But then when I sat back and thought about it, I don't have enough things to accumulate into two separate videos, so I'm going to be saying things that you're gonna need all in all. So that's clinical experience and lecture experience. So for clinical and for lecture, you're going to need a good pair of shoes. I actually have two pairs of shoes. Well, I have three, but I don't really wear the other ones. And I have one for lecture and I have one for clinical. So these are my lecture shoes. These are my little Skechers. And they're very comfy, very ugly, but because I'm in school for like 8 hours, baby, we're not stressing the whole cute thing no more, okay? And if you can see on the side, it's an earring, and I stepped on this like my second term of nursing school. I'm in my 6th now, so I just feel like it's good luck. So my little rabbit will stay there until she falls off. And yeah, so these are the shoes that I use for lecture and all in all. Sometimes if I'm being lazy, I'll wear them to clinical, which I don't suggest because they're cloth. And when you're on the floor, despite if you're at a nursing home or if you're in the hospital, you're gonna be in so many bodily fluids. There's urine everywhere, there's saliva, mucus, just feces, you know, it's a lot of stuff going on. So I don't recommend having cloth shoes because, long story short, I learned my lesson in that my first term that I did clinicals in. So definitely don't suggest like cloth shoes for clinical. Now for my clinical shoes, I went with these Nikes. They're kind of like just slip-ons. You know, I know some people like wearing the clogs and stuff like that, but me personally, I'm not used to wearing clogs. I don't know what they're like. I know some people say they're kind of difficult to walk in and stuff like that, and they're expensive, so I'm not about to go out on a limb and waste some coins that don't need to be spent. So I like to just stick with sneakers, and I love these shoes. I've actually been thinking about getting some white Reeboks because those are completely leather. I think that's the best material to use as shoes because, like I said, those bodily fluids, so many stuff will get spilled on your feet daily, so it's just easier to get a wet wipe and wipe your shoe off. I'm probably gonna go and get some new shoes anyway because these are just a little bit older. They still look nice, but I think I want to try the white shoes because all my shoes are black. We'll see how that goes. Now the next thing is something that I recommend for lecture, like as in being in school. And I've watched a couple of these videos and I've seen many people like show the drug book, show the NCLEX book, which I do suggest you purchase. It was included in my schooling, so I do have the NCLEX, the Saunders NCLEX examination prep book, which is very, very useful. It has so much in there, which I'm gonna be completely honest because y'all know if I'm not being real with y'all, who will be real? And I've had that book since I started school and I've cracked it open probably once, only because when you're taking these classes, ideally they want you to be, you know, preparing for the NCLEX when you start school. That's what a smart person would do. But there's just not a lot of time to do that. So aside from homework, this, oh wait, let me crack open my Saunders books and look at some questions, which would be, you know, a good thing to do, but I don't. So that's one of those things. But I do suggest you have that because then when it is a little bit, like when you're preparing for that NCLEX, you have the resource that you need, because I know after this term, I am definitely going to start cracking open that book because it's going to be closer for me to take my NCLEX. So definitely get the NCLEX Saunders examination book. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will put a picture somewhere in the screen because mine's packed up. Clearly, that's so bad that I just said that, but mine's packed up and put away, so I can't pull it out right now. Now, one thing that I do say is a very good investment if you're in nursing school, if you're in pre-nursing school, is a flash drive. Now, when I started school, it was just so frustrating because I didn't have access to a printer. So a lot of my things I would have to email. And you know, when you email things to yourself and the format gets all messed up, and then you're like, you go to your school and you're like, I need something printed out, and they're like, do you have a flash drive? And you're like, no, can you email it? It's just safe to have this, and you know that all your important things are in here. You can email them to yourself to back it up, but if you ever need anything printed or you need to go back for a reference for anything, you know that you have a flash drive. You can plug it in on any desktop computer, any laptop, and you'll have access to those things. So I feel like out of all the things that I've done since being in nursing school, this has been the smartest thing that I've done. So basically the rest of this video is gonna mainly be towards clinical, because most of the things that you need for nursing school is wrapped around what you need on the clinical side. I don't want to waste you guys' time and seem like I'm, you know, being a certain kind of way because I'm saying you need paper, you need a notebook. Like, really, guys? So I'm just gonna go to what you really want to know, is like the stuff that I need and the stuff that you're going to want to purchase when you start nursing school. So it's basically the stuff that you need during clinical. Now, I know that each school requires different things when you're on the clinical side. I know most schools kind of give you a list of things that you need. My school kind of just told us word of mouth, and then it depends on the site that you're going to, and it depends on your clinical instructor as to what they expect you to bring to your clinical. So every clinical experience for me has been different. I've brought different things, but overall, one thing that I do suggest is to purchase a small little notepad. They have little ones at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, for like $1 that you can put in your pocket, because we are students, so we're going to be writing down things. We're going to be exposed to things we've never heard before. And if you actually get assigned a nurse who likes getting students, they're going to question you. They're going to be like, what is this? Do you know what this medication is? What do we use this for? Oh, we're giving this. What should we look for? And they know your students. You're not going to know everything, and it's completely fine. But I like to take out my little notebook and write it down so I can learn it and I can apply it, because I'm like, this is what we gave to this patient. This is how the patient reacted. And next time I come across that question, I'll know. So definitely get a notebook. And with that being said, is get a pen, because I am so guilty of bringing everything else and then not having my pen. So make sure you have a pen on deck, because sometimes the nurses will be like, hey, can you go and write this down for me? What's the BP? Can you make a note of this? Or they'll send you to go get vitals on a patient, and then you forget them when you should have just wrote them down, but you didn't have a pen. So the next essential that I feel like is a huge must is hand sanitizer, preferably the pocket size hand sanitizer. I feel like you guys can tell I'm pretty girly, so I like the ones from Bath and Body Works, and I just keep them in my pocket, because the facilities that you go to typically have the sanitizer dispensers along the walls, but sometimes, depending on the facility, they're pretty spread apart and they're far. Sometimes they don't have anything in there, and so it's just good to have your own hand sanitizer. Now, once you start clinicals, you're going to be putting on and off gloves, you're going to be washing your hands, you're going to be, sanitizer. Your hands are going to be so dry. Your hands will be so dry they feel weird, and they start feeling, I don't know, I can't explain it. So it's just like, geez, my hands need lotion. So I've been bringing a little thing of lotion. This is a Britney Spears one. Honestly, I just had this little guy, so I was like, this works, it's small, and I'll just rub this on my hands and let that be that. Most of the nursing stations that I've been by, they always have like a community lotion, but we are visitors to the facility, and I feel like I'd rather just be prepared and have my own little lotion versus, entitling myself to use it. The next thing is kind of like a personal hygiene tip, which I guess the hand sanitizer and lotion was as well. But I know many girls and even guys, we like to smell good, wear perfumes and lotions, but in the hospital setting, you're dealing with very sick patients. If you're ever on like a chemo floor, or anyone with cancer, they're typically very sensitive to smell. I suggest getting something that's very light scented if you really want to smell good. A lot of the times I don't wear perfume or any strong scented lotions when I go to clinical, because I'm aware of the environment that I'm in, and it's not really the greatest. It's not the most appropriate for patients who are sick. Came across this body oil. I don't know if it's gonna focus. Probably not. Okay, so this is just a body oil and it's infused with roses and like stuff, so it's very faint, but it has a scent of rose. And I don't put on any like other lotions, I don't put on perfume on top of this. I just wake up, put a little bit of oil on, so my skin kind of smells like fresh and lively, but it doesn't have like a strong scent to it. So I definitely suggest getting something light scented if you're gonna put on any perfumes or lotions before you go to the clinical site. The next thing that I feel like is a must, I'm pretty sure everyone across the board when it comes to nursing schools tell you that you have to wear a watch during clinicals. You're gonna need a watch to look at because it's unprofessional to pull out your phone, especially if we're not the nurses, we're just the students chiming in. Do not pull out your phone on the floor. Now the next thing that I would suggest having is a stethoscope. No brainer. Typically that's like the first thing we're so excited to buy when we start nursing school because we're like, ooh, a stethoscope. I'm guilty. This is the stethoscope that my school provided me with. It's I'm not sure, I feel like I've seen these on Amazon, but it's just black and it's heavy. The ear things are uncomfortable, like, but mine still works. I know a lot of my classmates have said that their stethoscope stopped working from the school, but mine's still pretty good, and I always keep it in my bag just in case one of my classmates, you know, forgot their stethoscope. I would hate to see someone get sent home, so I just keep a stethoscope with me just in case someone needs it. And it did come in handy because last term one of my classmates didn't bring theirs, and I was like, son, you're not going home. Here, I did purchase my own stethoscope, and I got the lightweight Littman, which I'm in love with. I can't see myself purchasing any other Littmans, well, possibly down the road if I got it as a gift, but I just feel like it's so light, it does the job. It's such a good stethoscope. It's cheap. I paid like $45 for it. Typically it's like 60 bucks, I believe, but if you are familiar with Littmans, that's cheaper than the other ones, but I caught mine on sale, so I paid like $45 for it, and it's pink, and y'all know I love me some pink, and I get agitated having it around my neck like regular stethoscopes, but this one's so light I don't ever feel it, so it's cool with me. And I love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you guys. If you guys have any clinical or nursing school must-haves, comment them down below. Definitely, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram and on Snapchat, because when I'm not active on here, I'm definitely active on there. I love seeing your messages. It really makes my day. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.